Hey there. This is Earthy Love Medicine, and I am at the end of day 29 of my juice feast, solid food vacation, juice cleanse. For me right now, it's like a total cleanse. It really, really is. So, um, today, um, I spent some time outside, and I'm starting to feel more like a person, which is really cool. Um, Of course, I'm going to include the rundown about my enemas and my poops. So, I did two enemas today. Earlier today, I did a garlic one, and then I just did a lemon one. Um, and yeah, they're special. I've had some really interesting um, parasites today. Um, let's see, I had like even at one point I like did a little bit and it was like just a little blob, and of course right now that I've had so many weird interesting things come out of my arse that of course I had to investigate this little, I don't know, thing like that, right? Can you see it? Yep. It's just real little. It comes out, and of course I investigated it, and then I started to fuck with it. It was a worm like in a ball. So I'm like literally, and then after this enema, which I didn't poop out as many earlier, when I did the, what's it called, the garlic. When I did the garlic one, now garlic is supposed to kill them and like do big die offs. So um, I did the garlic, and then I just did a lemon, and this time it was like I just put lemon water up my tush, but it came out like sewage water. And this particular time, I had quite a few parasites. Like I purged, and I did earlier too. So I've been purging a lot of them. Like earlier, I had like a whole bunch of bigger ones in there, and then but it was just like in some sludge. This was different. It was just like a whole bunch of like just worms, and then a couple of days ago, I don't remember how long ago, if you watched that video, um, I had some come out and like this tissue looking stuff, and that kind of, it wasn't exactly the same obviously, but it was very similar. That happened again tonight. So it's almost like they're like living in the wall of my stomach, and like pieces that are all like funky, or just like as my stomach heals like breaking away or something. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me though, but I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor. I'm just paying attention to the crazy shit that's coming out of my arse. And I wonder if the poo obsession is the same for everybody else. Like, I'm obsessed with the stuff that's coming out, and not obsessed in like an unhealthy way. Just like I'm just over here doing 5, 10 enemas a day trying to get it all out. No, I'm just like I'm really like, I guess obsessed isn't the word, but like that's just like all that's going on. So I feel obsessed. Like, oh, I'm always talking about my poop, but that's like, this shit is traumatic, y'all. It's like what's going on in my life right now. Like, and I think I've said that in a couple of videos, but I guess I just feel like kind of awkward about the fact that like, there's so much spotlight on my poops right now. But I'm literally like, I'm pooping out more worms than I am actual like, I mean, debris is coming out, but there's worms in all of it. Like I said, I had like a tiny little break where none were really coming out for like, a couple times, and then all of a sudden I'm like purging a whole bunch of them again, and big ones. And like I did earlier today, I did like one was like as long as my forearm. Like, bruh, it's it gives me the heebie-jeebies sometimes. Like I get like creepy crawly because I have the eczema, and so I'm already like itchy and heebie-jeebie anyways. But then some of them are just like so gross. I'm just like, ugh, ew. Um, but I'm a big girl, so I got my big girl panties on, and I'm just walking through this the best that I freaking can. I um, I had some realizations today that were kind of trippy, like the stuff that's going on with me and my kids, like my older kids. They're my three older kids from my first marriage. They're all like decided that they were upset with me and had some resentments and wanted to, you know, out that. And I'm all for outing your resentments and outing anything that's going on with you, but I feel like they kind of like, I didn't really, it wasn't fair the way it happened. Let's put it that way. I don't really want to go too deep into it because that's personal, but, and I'm not the only one involved. So when you start telling information about a story and they're, the people that are involved, you really care about them and you're not trying to, paint them in some kind of a negative light or anything like that. You don't want to tell too much. So, it just, the way that it got dealt with or the way those things came out, those frustrations about me or whatever, it was hurtful for me. And I've done my best to just like, I've been lightweight numb about it, even though it hurts my feelings. It doesn't, like, I have like some kind of like inner understanding that's keeping me calm. And then today I kind of understood what the inner understanding was, is that I really feel like this was a little bit of a revelation, actually. I don't want to jamble on, but that this all happened, and it, like, I'm really codependent, so this happening and them not really wanting to be around me right now, not really wanting to talk to me or anything, it's made it where I don't have anybody around. Like, I don't have my kids around where I'm being really super codependent with them and like not setting boundaries and stuff, because I didn't realize that there was some boundaries there that I wasn't setting, and I was kind of being coddly in certain ways. So now that they're all kind of like, together, and they're not here. I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but like, I realize that sometimes things are orchestrated. Let's do it this way. So I realize sometimes things are orchestrated for our betterment. So not having anybody around right now while I'm going through this and their needs, gives me an opportunity to really just be about me. And like, I'm a mom, and I've been a mom for 22 years, and I'm a giver, and I'm a feeder, and I'm a taker care of her. Like, that's who I am, especially with my kids. And I don't like them to suffer. And I didn't realize that I was really like this, but I'm actually pretty coddly. And, I want them to be heard, and, all that kind of stuff. But then I'm also like, you little motherfucker, kind of kidding. I will get angry and I will lose my shit. But I don't like to be like that, so I avoid confrontation, is what my problem is. Especially with people that I'm close with and that I love, because I don't want to say or do anything that's going to hurt them, and I also don't want them to say or do anything that's going to hurt me. So, but that's part of having relationships, obviously. So in that regard and in that respect, I didn't really do any of us a favor by not saying, hey, these things are bothering me, or I don't really like this, or if I did say those things and then things were not repaired, I should have like been, more boundaried and been like, hey, this isn't fucking cool. Like, you need to, abide or like move along, or I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But, long story short, I really realize that sometimes my creator has to orchestrate things in my life where it forces me to be selfish. So, like, obviously, like, healing yourself and taking care of yourself isn't actually selfish, but, um, you know, it feels like it sometimes. And that's my codependence right there. And actually, this is the first time in my life where I'm actually taking care of myself, like, and it's hard. I feel guilt. I have younger children, and I am not the mom I want to be right now. I'm so sorry. And I'm not the worst mom, but I am not the best mom, and I'm not the best mom I can be right now. But the truth is that I'm not going to be the best mom I can be for them unless I do this. So, I'm just doing my best to like be ginger with myself and just give myself the same, codependent leeway that I would give anybody else, where I'm like, hey, but you're going through this and you're going through that, so of course you're having a hard time. So, I'm trying to give myself grace, I guess, and be okay with the fact that, I need to do this for myself right now. And it's very time consuming and life consuming. Like my whole life is about this right now. But going the rest of my life, declining and feeling like garbage and needing other people to take care of me and not being able to do any of the things that I love and dream of because I can't even muck up the will to like be a person every day. This is all worth it. I mean, who in the hell would have thought that I'd be almost at 30 days and I am kicking hella big ass nasty parasites out of my body still. And I'm only in the first 30 days. Like, it's like, you could look at it from one perspective or the other, like, man, I've done this whole 30 days. Or you could look at it like, I've only done 30 days. So, like, at this point, it's, I've only done 30 days and I don't know how long it's going to take for all of this stuff to come out of my body. But I feel like I talk about this a lot in my videos, like, because I'm just so fascinated by this. Like, what's it going to be like at day 30? What's it going to be like at day 35? What's it going to be like at day 40? What's going to be like at day 90? Like, what am I going to feel like? What am I going to look like? Because my body is starting to lose weight again, which I'm fucking juiced about. Like, I really, for anybody out there who's watching this and you have fluctuated on weight and found it very frustrating and difficult to keep weight off, even though you could get yourself down to a certain point, you couldn't get down further. And like, just this feels like this is going to be the thing that helps me get my inner health and condition in a place where I actually can maintain care for myself. Like, and weight is a huge issue. Yeah, it makes you feel like shit and clothes don't look as good and you don't feel as sexy, but you can find sexiness in that and you can love yourself somewhere in that. But it's not about that. You feel like a fucking failure because you can't seem to be thin like everybody else. But me personally, there's times in my life, especially in these last couple of years, where I'm eating healthier than anybody I know and I cannot get the fucking weight off my body. So the fact that like I'm finally starting to move down, it's really exciting for me. Like I said in my prior videos, like I know there's some people who don't do this for weight. They're doing it to like clean their body out, and they're doing it to push themselves, and and then they have these amazing experiences trying to be healthy or whatever. But they start out thinner, more on the thinner side. And for me, like, that's, I am doing it for weight loss also. But the most important thing is my health. And I'm not going to lose weight if I'm not healthy. So, and with the plant-based diet, even doing mostly raw, like my stomach is so corroded and funky, obviously, because I'm pooping out a whole bunch of freaking parasites every single day, multiple times a day, that I wasn't absorbing any of the nutrients of the food to the capacity that I needed to. And that's why as a vegan, I was failing, because I could not get enough food in me every day. And then I would turn to like junk stuff, because that's what you do when you like start failing. You start just going to your old go-tos. So I just found ways to be that way as a vegan. So, I'm at the place where I'm excited to like see how well my body actually works after this. And then like looking back on my life, like that's another thing I've been reflecting about a lot. Like I've mentioned that in the last couple days, but the fact that like I see how this has been touching my life for so long, and that my body has always been really sensitive to these things. So no wonder at 45 I'm breaking down pretty bad, which I am not breaking down now. I was breaking down. Now I'm getting all the stuff out of my body so that I can build my body back up in a healthy way. And I really cannot wait until I have enough energy to exercise. Like that is what I'm really excited about, is getting into being really physically in control of my body. I've just felt so like not as strong as I used to be, and like, and I would be sitting for a while and then I'd get up and I'd like kind of be hunched over a little because I'm like, everything's so heavy on my spine and like I'm all locked up in my hips, and like, I just didn't realize like how much uncomfortability I was actually living with, and like living with that in my mind, like that it was like a monkey on my back every day, that I was like this and I'm not getting any younger. Like every day I was getting older, and every day I was getting a little bit worse and a little bit worse, and not realizing how bad I already was. Like I just, everything was normal. I was just being me, uncomfortable in my skin. Like, hey, that happens. But funny, not funny. It's been a lot of years of my life that I've been struggling mentally and emotionally and physically in all these ways, and trying to be this person that I want to be, and just not having it in me to do it. And like, and then in some ways I'm like kicking ass, and another, and that like, I built a business in the last couple of years while I was going through all of this, and I had to take a step back from my business and go, okay, well, I'm fucking miserable, so it doesn't matter how much money I'm making. So I started to do well and feel successful, and I didn't feel successful because I feel like crap, and all the stress that was on me was making me physically ill. And I didn't have that much stress. That's why I'm like, I had basic stuff like just I mean, yes, I had added stress, and I had a lot of, properties and stuff that I was in charge of and all that kind of stuff. But, I'm a mom, I'm a multitasker. I've had businesses before. Like I know how to handle stress, at least better than I've been. Um, Excuse me, or maybe I'm just lying to myself, but I feel like, these last couple of years, even as becoming a vegan and losing the weight, that's when it started to really start to be a challenge, like I said, because I wasn't taking in the nutrients. And so, like I said, I'm excited because um, I can't wait for my body to like feel good. I can't even tell you the last time I felt good, like comfortable and good in my own skin. Right now, my skin is broken out. If you watch my last video, my arms are starting to clear up, but I still have quite a bit on my hands, and those seem to be clearing up too, but it's still there. And then my legs broke out ridiculously. They're like my calves and my shins and everything are just, ugh. They're so freaking horrible. But I had some up on the top that seems to be going away up here on my thigh. So, and then I had it on my back, and that was like a little leathery patch of them, and now that's starting to dissipate. So, it's as I poop out all these raggedy parasites that are obviously fucking toxifying up my whole ass body. Um, as those are leaving, so is the eczema. So, fingers crossed, y'all, that these things hurry up and get the hell out of my body. Like I literally am like, get out of me. Like whatever the fuck is in there, get out. Because who wants to live with all this sludge and grody-ness? So I feel like I've kind of like rambled through the whole video, so I'm gonna let this go. But yeah, day 29. Um, I feel really accomplished so far that I'm here, and that tomorrow's day 30. Um, and as I've said many times in this video, I'm really looking forward to the next things that keep happening. I've taken lots of like parasite poop pictures. I don't know if I will ever post those, but it's kind of like my proof to myself and anybody who doesn't believe me that like I'm pooping out some awfully ridiculously horrible stuff out of myself, and I haven't eaten, and tomorrow will be 30 days. So, and I would say in like the big scheme of things, I don't know anybody who won't eat for 30 days. So that's a long motherfucking time to be going without food. And then for me to be putting in like nutrient rich juices and stuff and like sludge coming out, bruh. Like this is fascinating and disgusting and uncomfortable and all these crazy emotions all at once. Like it's fucking gnarly. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to keep following my journey so you can get more notifications and know when I put out a video. Thank you for visiting Earthy Love Medicine, and I hope you start juicing or eating raw or taking some kind of step in the direction towards your optimal health. Take care.